Halo 3 Mythic Overhaul by MythicJaqui is receiving a major update, and you can play the first 5 missions now by clicking on the link in the description of this video that will take you to MythicJaqui's Patreon page. I will be breaking down this video into 3 segments. We will cover dismemberment and cracking open craniums, then we will cover modified weapons and those that have been imported, to include some vehicles, especially looking at the warthogs in detail. Lastly, we will view various enemy and allied permutations, to include the Chief and the Arbiter. I feel that this is an important update to cover, as MythicJaqui stated they've refined their understanding of the mod tools. So to start fresh, all outdated mod tags have been deleted from the previous Halo 3 Mythic Overhaul version, which means these mod tags in this video have been remade, aiming at higher quality and more consistency within the Mythic Overhaul campaigns.
Pete, wait! The Arbiter's with us! Come on now. We've got enough to worry about without you two trying to kill each other.
Were it so easy.
Let's go ahead and start off with what mod authors claim is not easy to accomplish. Given that the assault rifle fires 7.62 rounds in Halo, it makes sense that limbs will fall off if shot in the right place on a small target. Slowing it down, you can see the grunt's right arm, which is also their firing arm, is shot off, making for a more visceral gameplay experience. This can come in handy, pun intended, if you are taking shots from numerous grunts and you end up shooting one of its arms off. The grunt could still be alive, but it just runs around weaponless and armless. It's quite the sight to see. Landing a shot to the head could open up the grunt's skull, or completely behead the grunt. Let's see that again. Fascinating and juicy. Blueberry cobbler. Even the big burly brutes are susceptible to getting their cranium opened up, and they've got the strawberry flavor.
But we are victorious. All who serve the cause.
It's impressive to me that Covenant bipeds can be altered as such in real time, and only if the player makes contact in a certain region of the biped. This introduces a whole new element to the game, of admiring the carnage you committed. Now let's take a look at what we can do to this jackal. Aiming for its firing arm, you can see that with sustained shots, you can sever a jackal's arm. And look at the accumulation of brain matter and skull fragments on the ground. Yikes. Of course, not every enemy's head or arms get blown off of them, but it's engaging to set yourself in the right spot with the more demanding gameplay elements and get a clean shot at your adversaries. Jackals consist of grape flavor, Alright, that's fun. Now let's take a look at modified and imported weapons. You've likely noticed some of them already in this video, but at the beginning of Sierra 117, you will find Marcus Lato's rebuild of the original 60-round magazine-fed assault rifle from Halo Combat Evolved. Marcus Lato is the original designer of the assault rifle, and this updated model looks gorgeous, especially in the hands of MythicJaqui's awesome Master Chief armor. Now let's take a look at the assault rifle's accuracy. Couple the original assault rifle with the imported Halo Reach Magnum, and you've got an efficient combo. The battle rifle that you will see and hear more of in this video has been redesigned and sounds powerful. The plasma repeater the Arbiter wields is awesome, and it's extremely accurate, especially for the rate of fire. As you can see, all the plasma bolts land within the reticle, and you can zoom in.
Tell me its location.
The needlers are dual-wieldable in Halo 3 now. The Disruptor from Halo Infinite has been imported. The Disruptor can EMP vehicles as well. For DMR fans, you'll be happy to know that not only has the DMR been imported, but there's also no reticle bloom. In this location, at the bottom of the river, you will find the original Magnum from Halo Combat Evolved. Use a Jackal shield, why not? There are various weapons that you can wield with the Jackal shield.
Flush him out.
We've got the original Magnum melee animation, Flawless Cowboy. The needle rifle from Halo Reach makes its appearance, and it seems as though the projectile velocity is slower than the original, making the needles feel heavier, therefore it feels like the weapon is more powerful. Swapping out the needle rifle for the Covenant carbine, you will notice your ammo changes to radioactive. The burning effect covers a larger surface area than before for this mod's update. Like before, once your carbine round impacts a target with energy shields, the radiation will slowly burn away energy shields or any health for a small duration of time. This creates more depth to the gameplay, as the carbine does not feel like just another precision weapon that fires a few pop shots at a target that slips into cover to recharge its shields. There's more punishment on the target.
See how they bait their trap?
Towards the tail end of nearly each mission, there will be some form of a boss fight that has been implemented. With the various imported weapons and other equipment, this mod creates unique experiences in levels that are 16 years old. There's hidden weapons on the maps too, like this double-barrel shotgun. Sometimes they're not even hidden. One of your allies might be equipped with a unique weapon, you just have to pay attention to them. And there are some fusion coils you can pick up as well. Let's take a look at the imported Commando and the Mangler.
Wipe those bastards off the deck!
I do without it.
It's funny, I find the Mangler to be much more entertaining to use in Halo 3 here than in Halo Infinite. It looks like MythicJaqui made the Phantoms look more gritty and grimy as their coats haven't been polished in some time. With as much action happening on Earth, it makes sense that the Phantoms look like they've been ferrying troops back and forth in the atmosphere. With the introduction of the Mangler, I was curious if the Mauler was still present. It turns out the Mauler is still here, and still behaves like a brute shotgun, with perhaps greater effective range. As for the brute plasma repeater, it's extremely effective. Stripping energy shields away like a cheap piñata, you can be certain to take on ground level and airborne units with ease. The more common assault rifle is an all-around solid performing weapon with a zoom capability. I'd say MythicJaqui made this assault rifle the most practical weapon to use in this mod. In Halo 3 Retail, practicality for the assault rifle ended beyond 30 feet. In this mod, the weapon feels consistent in its accuracy. You can engage close-range targets effectively. As you saw earlier, I was chopping off Grunt's arms with it, and short controlled bursts for medium-distant targets feels like you are actively inflicting damage. Having the Halo Reach Magnum as your sidearm, you can put up a very accurate and consistent fight, even in a crappy situation like this. The weapon that fits more of the role Bungie was looking for their Halo 3 assault rifle is the MA5K in this mod. Couple the MA5K with a shotgun and you've got yourself some CQBS, close quarters brain splashing. The MA5K holds 30 rounds and does not have a zoom capability, but it's very capable up close and personal with heavy hitting bullets. Now let's step into our garage and talk about the Warthogs. This is the Transport Hog in Halo 3 Retail. Get a good look at the rear seats, the rear frame, and the details all around the Hog. And especially pay attention to the tires, we will get to them soon. You can see the surface of the hood is smooth. Now for Mythic Overhaul. The Transport Warthog model in Mythic Overhaul is imported from Halo Reach. The rear seats are much more defined. The partition is detailed, revealing small dents of equipment that must have collided while in motion. The frame is much more solid looking and the indentation allows more headroom. Two hood mounts are present up front, which interestingly enough, mod authors that create a gun goose will place the machine guns on these mounts of the Halo Reach mongoose. I wonder. Your allies will board your transport hog as if it were a Halo 3 Warthog. I guess they appreciate the extra room, headspace, and details. To get more detailed, I've noticed that the Halo 3 Warthog tires look to have a layer of dirt on them. They look worn as if they traveled a few hundred miles off-road, as you would expect. It doesn't matter the surface, they will always have this effect in Halo 3. I like it. I think the layer of dirt adds to a rugged aesthetic. But in Halo Reach, all of the Warthogs must have gotten new tires put on them. They hardly look like they have any wear on them, as if they were picked up right off the manufacturer's assembly line. Yet despite Mythic Overhaul using a Halo Reach Warthog model, the tires look to be of Halo 3's. This serves as a very deliberate, detailed decision, which I can really appreciate.
That's right! Hey, sweet! Really? Stay on him!
There's more details to admire with the Halo Reach Warthog, such as the more prominent winch, the projection of light from every light fixture on the Warthog. The Master Chief looks cozy inside the driver's seat. All of the passengers look happy and ready to go. There's extra storage space above the partition. That's where I'd put my snacks if I was back there. And as for the turret Warthog, that is from Halo Reach as well. Now let's go ahead and go back to fun guns.
Now, get some distance between us and the base. Brutes are gonna be looking for survivors.
The focus rifle from Halo Reach has been imported into Halo 3 Mythic Overhaul. It's a weapon that's grown on me over the years. I'm glad to see it in here. Another method in which you can attempt to behead grunts and jackals.
Hold your fire! Dial down!
The concussion rifle is entertaining to use. In fact, it's a great weapon you can give to your allies when they're in the Warthog. Now I want to make it clear, some imported weapons shown here may have already been in the previous versions of this mod, but visually and functionality wise, they've improved in this update. Ooh, let's go ahead and put in some work with this Hydra.
Get closer!
This imported model looks fantastic, and so does the reload animation.
It's so damn loud!
The Hydra is another devastating weapon you can give your passengers.
I'm gonna kill you, cheap ass! I'm sure they'll be plenty happy to see you. Head on through.
Just like the fusion coils, you can pick up and throw plasma batteries. Although in this case, I should have been more ready for the plethora of drones coming to attack. I recommend using the useful pulse carbine for this encounter. And get your Warthog gunner ready.
Give them hell, people!
You heard what I heard too, right? A Marine has a Bulldog from Halo Infinite. Let's see what kind of damage we can cause.
Cruisers above. They found
Say again, Recon? You're breaking up.
something in the crater, ma'am. Something beneath the storm.
We'll keep that Bulldog handy. First, before I just run down there, you can shoot off the Hunter's arm cannon. We've seen this in the previous version, but I'm showing you how this can be an effective strategy. This storm rifle earns its name.
We got reinforcements, Marine!
This Spectre is so much fun to use, I want to keep it in one piece for as long as possible. A mobile plasma turret. Instead of a Warthog that needs a driver and gunner, the operator can shift placement wherever they want to go in the mobile plasma turret. The turret is also very durable. Well, until you use a chopper. Speaking of plasma turrets, stationary plasma turrets from Halo 2 have been imported into this mod. The Ravager makes its way from Halo Infinite into this mod.
My Dreadnought, the vessel that is ready to fulfill the divine purpose.
Frag out!
The boss battle at the end of this mission consists of 2 Mythic hunters and a pack of Covenant led by a brute war chieftain. I recommend using the Ravager to keep a considerable distance from the occupied zone. If you get too close to the oven, you're bound to get cooked.
Our God! Keep up the...
Alright, so we have a couple of weapons to look at here. The first one being the grenade launcher imported from Halo Reach. Holding down the trigger, waiting for the reticle to rotate, and releasing the trigger will fire an EMP grenade. The EMP can destroy small targets, whereas one pull of the trigger and releasing will fire an explosive non-EMP grenade that is capable of bouncing into areas of interest.
Admiral's waiting for us to clear the anti-air.
Onto the skewer from Halo Infinite. Check out the detail of the huge spike being inserted into the weapon. This imported model looks great. And great detail seeing the spike impaled into a concrete wall.
Move to the next area. Over.
Wielding the Jackal's shield for close quarters can be very helpful, but if you decide to keep the shield in your secondary slot, you will have the shield on your back, which will protect you from incoming fire that comes from behind you. A small detail that's good to know.
Jump on in.
The rocket launcher is imported from Halo Reach, which means it's equipped with the lock-on feature. So when you have numerous allies with their own rocket launchers in this section of the level, things get insane in all of the right ways. Many rockets hit their targets, but some of them that skew past their target are a hazard to everybody. I would tell you to check your surroundings, but it might be too late. Just like the Phantoms, the Scarab seems to have more dirt and grime on it like it's going through a war. 'Cause, you know, it is. Seeing the rockets revolve around the Scarab and impact the Scarab is so neat. I personally find taking the imported plasma launcher from Halo Reach to be the most engaging way to take down the Scarab. Now those red streaks you see going past me, that is from the Stalker rifle, imported from Halo Infinite. You can also find the Shock Rifle, imported from Halo Infinite. Now, even your allies have their opinion about the weapons.
Lucky day. How is this fair? Oh, God, no. Snipers down.
Now let's go ahead and get a few of these weapons into action.
Hold your flank! Get out of there! Enjoy this present!
Stand it! I can't stand it! Shoot it!
This is the last weapon I'll show off here in this video. It's a concussion rifle that behaves similar to the plasma caster from Halo 5 Guardians. It is extremely effective against hunters.
Well, thank you for your timely intervention.
Now let's look at the various armor and character models, starting with our enemy, the Covenant. The brutes in Mythic Overhaul have a facial anatomy change that closer represents the brutes in Halo 2. A primate, gorilla-like facial structure is seen here. But in Halo 3 Retail, the brute's facial features, with the longer snout, resembles closer to a canine. In Mythic Overhaul for Halo 3, the brutes not only closer resemble Halo 2's brutes cosmetically, but the AI behavior for the brutes is closer to Halo 2's, which is a good thing. The brute charge is much more intimidating and quicker in this mod than Halo 3 Retail. The brutes behave considerably different than the elites in this mod. The brutes are more in your face, whereas the elites, they do less charging and instead look for a path to flank you and your allies if given the opportunity. When it all comes down to the Covenant, the armor looks so great on each and every species. The Elite's shield as seen here is from way back when Halo released an in-game trailer at E3 of the year 2000. Getting a close-up of the scratches, minor dents, and chip paint on high-ranking Covenant troops looks awesome, and the leathery scales of the Elites looks incredible in Halo 3's engine. You can actually discern each rank easily in Mythic Overhaul. Even the grunts can don their little helmets to give their noggins a little bit more protection. Something I notice is that the lower ranking elites have less scratches and much of their paint is still intact, as opposed to the more weathered and experienced senior ranking elites. These jetpack brutes look so cool in their armor. The elite models are not imported from Halo Reach, that much I can tell for sure. They appear to be a modified version of Halo 3's elites. Their stance and their movement animation appears to be straight from Halo 3, but their faces and their entire armor look so much cooler. You can tell on this Elite Ultra the armor has more damage, wear and tear, as opposed to the minor elite right next to him. Now it's time to look at the Unity Marines. The Unity Marines have armor imported from Halo Reach, and it's in forest green. They look really good. They look like they're ready to jump into a fight. Their armor is bulkier, like it can actually take some damage. You can see more detail in their gear too. I always felt like in Halo 3 retail, the Marines look small and wimpy. I get it that you're the chief and so you tower over them, but I always felt in Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 the Marines looked their part. As opposed to Halo 3, the Marines look too small and too frail for the purpose they serve. But in Mythic Overhaul, they look perfect. There's many permutations of the gear they have, some are more uniformed than others, but all look armed and part of a true military. Some even have the green tactical eyepiece. Now much of this is thanks to Halo Reach's armor. But there is something interesting that is not present on their shoulders that you would normally see in Halo Reach. These are Unity Marines. They are not part of the Unity army. Therefore, they do not have the cavalry emblem like a Unity trooper has, as seen here. You will see this cavalry emblem on nearly each Unity trooper in Halo Reach. Not all of them, but most of them. The Unity troopers will be fitted with tan armor and an olive green uniform. Towards the end of Halo Reach, however, the gray and black uniforms are worn by the Unity Marines, and none of them have the cavalry emblem. Much of the armor and pouches are the same, but you see from the Marines here, they instead wear the emblem of the Unity. While Saber Interactive gets a lot of flack for recycling assets from Halo Reach for Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, they kept the emblems separate, the way they should be. It's not an exact copy of the Unity Trooper from Halo Reach, though the models are indeedly similar. It all comes down to the armor, and this is what I want to dive into. I actually like that the armor has been carried over from Halo Reach into Halo 3 and Mythic Overhaul especially. 1, the armor looks fantastic, and 2, it makes a lot of sense. If armor from a manufacturer passes military standards and is able to mass produce, yielding production need and cost effectiveness, then the Unity Army and the Unity Marines would have similar armor. If it proves to protect ground forces in ground and pound scenarios, then you'll see much of the same armor in different branches, just like in today's military. What it all comes down to is importing Unity armor from Halo Reach to Halo 3 makes sense logistically in the Halo world, and I like this mod for doing this. A simple change to the armor's color scheme and mix in various permutations from wounded Marines, radio operators, Marines who have lost some of their armor or ditched it if it was too damaged, who knows what their story is, all the way to the fully armed, head-to-toe, ready for battle. Man, the plethora of armor permutations for your allies looks fantastic in this mod. They even have the female model from Halo Reach. Lastly, with these new looking Marines, they even have their altered armor carry over into the cutscenes.
On board. Request priority clearance. Over.
Deck's yours. Come on down.
These ODSTs also look incredibly detailed. Without exhausting too much more about your allies' armor in this mod, I still feel it's right to at least show the ODSTs. Now on to the Master Chief and the Arbiter. The Master Chief looks so much better in this new update for Mythic Overhaul than the previous version. I thought the previous Master Chief armor looked pretty cool in Mythic Overhaul with the richer shade of green, but man, this is at a much higher level of quality. The armor reminds me more of the Master Chief in Halo 2 mixed with Halo Infinite, to include the promotional content for Halo 3 with higher quality Master Chief armor that just wasn't achieved in the retail game. I recommend taking some more time checking out the Master Chief and the Arbiter bipeds yourself. I will start to conclude this video with something terrifying.
What is it? More brutes?
Worse.
The flood models have been altered in this mod, and there's a very cool detail in this specific level when it comes to the more pure flood forms. Since the flood took control of the Covenant cruiser and crash landed, the flood forms that have yet to infect a human or Covenant will be glowing in a fiery orange due to the burning Covenant ship that the flood poured out from. Once the flood does infect a human, or in this example, a Covenant brute, the charred orange glow will be diminished, and you will see the new brute model in Mythic Overhaul infected by the grotesque parasitic flood. At the end of this level, you will face a flood juggernaut. This gets me excited to play the other half of the Halo 3 Mythic Overhaul campaign. It's a mod that has a more demanding playstyle and kinetic flow than Halo 3 Retail. You will dig in, be smart, put yourself in a good spot, and make a move on the Covenant and Flood in a whole new visceral experience. I enjoyed the previous version of Mythic Overhaul, but this update is simply at a higher level. Follow the link in the description of this video and play Halo 3 Mythic Overhaul tonight. You will continue to come back and play it again and again. What's your favorite thing from Halo 3 Mythic Overhaul? I'm curious. Let me know. And check out my other videos I've made.
KYOT Coyote.